Hello, and welcome to Project 2013, Tips and Techniques. I'm Philip Nyman. We've been talking about project dependencies. So far, we've talked about finish to start to start, and finish to finish. And that leaves the dreaded start to finish dependency. Why dreaded? Well, many people have the wrong impression about this dependency and so avoid using it. They think it's weird or unusual, difficult to create, difficult to work with. We'll see that none of that's true. There are very practical, commonplace situations where the start to finish dependency is the perfect dependency to use in your project plan. And we'll see that in fact it is easy to work with and create in Microsoft Project. Let's take a look. All right, here we are. I've gone ahead and opened up Project 2013 and added three tasks: collect financials, generate reports, and report training. These tasks would actually be part of a larger project, for example, used by a business office. In this situation, the business office is going to be generating a set of reports at the end of the fiscal year, and there's a new piece of software to be used, and they need training on that. Collecting the financial information is the same as before, and that's clearly linked to generating the reports in a finish to start dependency. But we also have a new component, report training. How does that fit in? Clearly, we need to be trained on the program before we can use it, so there is a dependency between generating reports and training. But what is that dependency? It's not going to be start to start or finish to finish. They can't occur at the same time. What happens if we link report training to generate reports in, say, a finish to start dependency? If I click this task and then generate reports and then link the two, well, this looks reasonable. But if collect financials goes long, a couple of days, look what happens. There's now a large gap between the training and the use of the training, and that's not good. You'd like people to be trained on the use of a piece of software or whatever, and then be able to use it as soon as possible. Here, in the intervening days, they'll start to forget. So this isn't good. What we want is a dependency between the two that keeps the training tied to the use of the training, in this case, the generation of the reports. And that actually is exactly what a start to finish dependency does. So if I get rid of the finish to start dependency, let's see if we can understand how the start to finish dependency works. If we take a look at financials and generate the reports, financials occurs earlier in time, generating reports occurs later in time. Collect financials is the predecessor, generate reports is the successor. The predecessor-successor relationship isn't actually a dependency in time. Predecessor-successor determines or identifies the driving relationship between the two. If collect financials goes long, it pushes generate reports forward in time. The relationship between generate reports and report training is a start to finish dependency. In this situation, it's actually generate reports that's the predecessor. Even though it occurs later in time, it actually drives when report training must finish. So in this situation, and in the situation when you have a start to finish dependency, it's actually the task that occurs later in time that drives when the task that occurs earlier finishes. If I double click on report training, since that is going to be the successor task, I can click on the predecessor tab. I can identify generate reports as our predecessor, and I can select for the dependency start to finish. And this is exactly what we want. Here, the predecessor task, generate reports, drives the completion of the report training task. And now, if collect financials goes long, by a couple of days, you can see that generate reports effectively drags report training along with it. And that maintains the close relationship between the training and the use of the training. And this is exactly what we want. And there you have it, a start to finish dependency that maintains the appropriate relationship between a training event and the use of the training. I think the key to making or to using start to finish dependencies effectively, it starts with recognizing that that is in fact the appropriate dependency. Training situations, for example, usually I think always should be start to finish. Once you've identified the situation, you need to appropriately identify the predecessor successor relationship. And in a start to finish dependency, the task that occurs later in time will always be the predecessor. Once you've identified the predecessor and successor of the relationship, actually creating the relationship using Microsoft Project 2013 isn't any more difficult than with a finish to start, start to start, or finish to finish relationship. So it's just that simple. I hope that this presentation has given you better insight into the start to finish dependency and that you'll now start to use it where appropriate. Thanks for watching. Bye for now.